Okay, hello YouTube and welcome back to part 3 of the physical two-handed Archon. Just looking at our quest list here and I forgot to go find Isaac's stash, so we're going to go do that. Even though the shoulders that are guaranteed to be there are probably not as good as what we currently have, we may as well go do it for the XP if nothing else. Okay, fry some more slith. I don't think we actually get anything for these except for XP. But I do like XP, so we're going to kill them. So Isaac's hidden stash is to the left of the Foggy Bank Rift. Basically you just keep going, you'll find this narrow path over the river, and there'll be a tree stump on this little island here. That is a lot of Rift Hounds. Okay, so this was his stash, bit of XP, and rune carved Isaac's shoulders. So these always have retaliation damage on them. And I'm not sure what rune carve does, but that is actually looking pretty good. I don't think we need the resistances on that just yet. Though the armor is pretty good, we might wear that. The resistances will come in handy later on. Okay, so we've done that. We're going to go back to the Burridge outskirts. We have 2 shrines in this area, in addition to, I think, 3 quests. The first of which is to talk to Duncan here. And he'll tell us about a lost blacksmith who took a hammer with him, and Duncan there wants the hammer. So we're going to go find the hammer. Okay, the Molten, that's going to be fire damage. And something is definitely hurting my health bar. I think it's these 2. Okay. Once you do go through that underground passage, the monsters out here, I don't know if it's a level increase or what it is, but they definitely seem to hit harder. It's very noticeable, the spike in difficulty from going through that submerged passage. But that's okay. We will continue on and continue killing variables and such. The good thing about this is, even though they are our level or higher, they do still die quite nicely to the lightning, and they are very good XP. You can see there the proc on our Feral Hunger. When it triggers, it does a decent amount of AoE damage. Don't be shy about using your potions either. It doesn't matter that you maybe get a little bit low, you can buy them for iron bits in town. And it's very hard to complete the game on hardcore if you are dead, so it's absolutely worth using them. Same deal with energy potions. It's definitely better to use them than to not. There will come a point in the game, later on at least, where you have so much attack damage converted to health and such that you are basically collecting potions in order to sell them for iron bits. Not there yet, but we will get there. So just here is Angram. In normal difficulty, I believe Duncan, if you side with Duncan, he will give you a little bit more XP, which is basically inconsequential. His specialized craft is also guns. If you're doing a gun build, it may be worth siding with him. In fact, I'd say it is definitely worth siding with him. But we are not doing that, so we are going to tell him we're here for the hammer, tell him about Duncan, and then he will join us. So he will go back to the prison and wait for us there. And we will continue on. I'm not sure why, I just had a feeling that I had unspent skill points. This pile of burning rubble being here is a little bit inconvenient, because coming in the back door for this cave is considerably safer. You have a lot less things to fight, a lot less things to go around, and especially, yeah, you see that rock there on the map for this underpass? That would be the second best way to get to the shrine. This way going around the bottom is actually by far the worst, because everything has tons of health, and it actually does a lot of damage if you allow yourself to get surrounded. So I think we're just going to run past all this, grab the shrine, and we're going to leave that rare gun on the ground even. This is the back exit that I was talking about. If you can come in here, it is considerably safer. You can reliably get the shrine without having to fight anything. Okay, so Feral Hunger is maxed, 26% chance to hit 5 targets, do bleeding damage, do lots of other damage, and to convert a third of it to health. And we're going to keep pumping physique for now. Oh, and we had another devotion point for the fox, so we get cunning and percent bleed damage, and I missed one, so there's our 6% attack damage converted to health as well. So the plan is to get the Kraken, for which we need 5 more blues. So we will probably take the eel, or potentially the lizard actually. The lizard has regeneration on it and move speed, which is nice stuff. So I think we'll take the eel, or sorry, the lizard. I should check what the Coyote's build guide recommends. I think he recommends the lizard. Okay, so just down the hill here, there is a shrine, which we're actually going to ignore that for now. I'm feeling sufficiently squishy to not want to really mess with it at the moment. We will definitely start doing them later. Nope, wrong way again. Okay, so just across this river here, we will find Ulgrim. Ulgrim is the cook, so we could use a cook. We'll send him to the prison, and he will be useful later on in the story. Our next stop is going to be securing the portal in Burridge Village, and then we're going to have to turn around and come back to kill Balros and Hagra. These guys here, if you get too close, when they explode, or when they die rather, they will explode, and you can take a decent amount of damage from them exploding. And we see a beautiful example of Grim Dawn's impeccable pathing. That will get quite irritating in Homestead. Okay, another portal that you have to fight for. This one has 3 waves, and the first 2 are not particularly difficult, though the third one is usually between 1 and 3 starred monsters. This time we got 2, which isn't too bad really. Again, be very liberal with your use of potions, because hardcore is very difficult to beat if you are dead. Okay, I should have definitely focused on Bolvarus the Glacierborn here first, because he is cold, he's doing cold damage, he's slowing me down. I definitely should have killed him first. There we go, new boots, a new tome that we're not going to use. These boots are actually going to be considerably better than these ones, but they are actually a lot higher level as well. I didn't expect it to be that high. Okay. Just up the hill here, in this room, in the house, you'll see this dusty lectern. You can skip this. This is a optional quest that will give you, I think it's a Blood of Chthon, which will be useful later. But for right now, it's mostly going to be for XP. So when you have that book, you can read it, and it will actually name one of the members of the prison, who was involved in sabotaging the water supply, which is Dureni here.
What do you want?
So we're going to go say hello to him, and then we'll say goodbye to him. There we go. Okay. So Ulgrim here is our chef. Glad he settled in. XP, reputation, all good stuff. Angrim here is the blacksmith. If you talk to him, you can create relics for this empty slot. We can't do it yet because we don't have a tainted brain matter. We will get one of those at the end of Act 1, but for now, no good. You can create weapons and such. I'm not going to bother, even though these will probably be better. They also require a higher level. Same with the armor and such. And the accessories, I think these are mostly higher level. Components is the main use for the blacksmith, but that does require a decent amount of scrap, which we don't really have yet. So we will talk to Bourbon again. 2 quest turn-ins, more XP, good stuff. So we basically have 3 quests remaining in Act 1. Which is the Warden's Cellar, so kill the Act boss. Flesh and Iron is 2 named bosses that we're going to kind of turn around and come back. And the Apprentice, and we actually have a 4th one, which I'd forgotten about, which is the Fabric quest on the docks, and that will get us a level 20 chest piece. So we'll go do that now, since it's on the way. And once we get to the Warden's Cellar Rift, we'll come back and kill, what are their names? Balros and Hagra. This one being Forsaken is a little bit scary. Like I said, I'm feeling a little bit squishy at the moment, so I think I'm going to leave those alone, probably for Act 1. They do give you a very nice chunk of XP, and generally drop a blue or 2, so they are quite good if you can do them. I don't think we are strong enough yet to do that. As you can see, I'm having to guzzle potions for a bunch of regular monsters. So, opening a totem with potentially 4 or 5 starred monsters seems like a really bad idea. So what you're looking for is these weathered chests. They're all in set locations, or optionally in one of several set locations. And you need to find 3 of them. I don't think this is one of them. No, but it is. No good one-hander. So yeah, one is there. There's a couple on the end of the docks. This is not one either. Another one is potentially in here. Not today. Could potentially have one out on these piers. Oh, it doesn't look like it. More scrap is good. Potentially there's one here. This one here is another one. And then there's 2 more potential locations, at which point we go back and check because I've missed one if they're not there. There it is. Okay. Level 14. Alright. That's our 3 fabrics, that's all we needed. Okay, let's chuck 2 points in Savagery, and back to 1 point in the bar. We'll probably put 1 point in Upheaval, and then continue maxing out Savagery and its modifiers. Potentially one of the fabrics is going to be up here as well. Not this time, we've already got them all. So we're coming up on the Warden's mansion, estate, not sure what you'd call it. Coming up on his house, shall we say. And out the front of his house is another shrine. And the dungeon where the apprentice that we're looking for is, which is just this one here. So we'll pop the shrine, kill everybody involved. We're starting to get to the point now where it's better to use the two-hander than it is to use the lightning. As long as we can get the AoE procs, it probably is better. I think I would probably phase the lightning AoE out. Maybe the next weapon we get. This one. Actually. We probably won't bother with the cracked lodestone on this weapon. Okay. Is that actually an upgrade? Yeah, it is, just based on base stats alone. Converting it to vitality doesn't really matter at this early in the game. Later on that would be a deal breaker, but for right now it's fine. Being a faster weapon, we should get more procs as well. As you can see, that proc is just tearing things apart. Here's our apprentice, Dalit. We will send her back to Devil's Crossing. Doesn't look like she had any books on her shelf. Okay, back upstairs. We're going to head to the Warden's mansion. We're just going to ignore them. And so now we actually don't have the Lightning Nova, which is unfortunate. So now we're relying entirely on our procs, which should be fine. That was fairly straightforward. What we don't want to do is get surrounded both in front and behind. So we will just hold shift and let them pile into the doorway, and we'll kill them one at a time. Alright, there's a lot of books in this house. I think at least 3 and as many as 5 or 6, depending on how many bookcases you find to bash. So these 3, or these 2 here, plus that one up there, are guaranteed every time. The rest maybe not so much. That is a huge upgrade. And we're back to 1 and 2 shotting things, which is very nice. If you wanted to, now that we had a decent weapon, we could go back for those shrines. I actually feel relatively confident that we could kill things fast enough to not die now. And we do have to do a little bit of backtracking as well for that last quest, Flesh and Iron. So maybe we will hit the shrines. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little worried about our level going in here. I usually try and kill the Warden around 17, 18, maybe even as high as 20. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of XP on the way back. Also, we can put our new boots on. So as long as things are chasing us, we can just kill them with the fire. If they'll stand in it. Not really. Okay. This road is almost always blocked at some point. Looks like I've won the lotto though, and it is not blocked this time. Let's see if we can get some fire spreading It's actually not too bad. I don't think you can use it as a primary weapon, but supplemental damage seems good. Alright, here's Balros the Malformed, and his buddy just down there. Here's Hagra the Tormented. One of these does ice damage. I think it's Hagra. So we're going to kill them first. Witch Doctor has to go. You can see there we're getting frozen solid, so you definitely want to find anyone who's doing cold damage, freezing, stunning, anything like that, and kill them as a matter of high priority. Okay, we are going to go and do a whole bunch of turn-ins, and then we're going to take the portal back to the Warden's Cellar. So this will get us to level 15, which will get us 2 more points in Savagery. And we already swapped the weapons. I think 18 is our next upgrade. That is new. A little bit less health regen. I kind of like the resist on the other one. I think we'll sell that. One thing to think about when you're playing hardcore is don't think of this stuff as belonging to this character. Think of it more as playing for the account, by which I mean if you keep this stash or this all these items and such in the shared stash, then if this character dies, your next character will have all of this to start with. And yeah, it doesn't look like much now, but we put a blue item in there now. Maybe in 5 more levels we put another blue item in there. It'll all add up. And it just makes it much easier for your next character. We don't want Alex, we want Constance. What do you need? Here's some fabric, thank you very much for the XP, and that jacket, which we can't use for another 5 levels. Take a look at the armor on that. It's considerably better than what we have at the moment. Actually, we'll see if we can make an anti-venom. We can. I'm going to put that on the belt. So this one has plus 24 armor, and if you put it on a belt, plus 24 armor will actually apply to every single slot. So, for example here, have a look at the head at the top. It's got 85 armor rating. If we put that on there, same one, now it's up to 109. We put armor on the belt. So, anti-venom salve on the belt is pretty much the first thing I craft for every character I play. Okay, now the only quest we have left, or the only main quest, is to go and kill the Warden. So we'll go do that now. This episode might be a little bit longer than the others, but that's okay. Have to keep the rat population under control, because we are a little bit underleveled. It will be quite easy to get overwhelmed in here. And anyone who has played this game knows that there is a shrine, or a totem, in this section of the game, and is notoriously dangerous. It's really, really dangerous, I say as I nearly die here. We will be skipping that shrine, because I don't feel like making a new character. We have been getting a little bit unlucky on items. We really need some armor, not shields. Oh, speak of the devil. Wrong slot though. There it is now. See, it's ancient. Ancient totems are the harder ones. So no prefix is the easy one. Forsaken is kind of the middle of the road. And ancient ones are the harder. They will come with more and harder enemies. So if we popped that, we would get several of the larger ethereal, I guess, stone golems almost. And it would be quite difficult with a melee only build. So we're just going to walk straight past it. We're just not doing it. It does appear that that fire damage does add up though. Just checking the walls there for secret passages. I know there's one in, well, there's actually several in here. We've already been through one of them. But there's one in a long hallway like that. Here we go. Hopefully the wall will be down here and we can just walk straight into the next area. Yes, we can. Alright, so this is the last area transition before we fight the Warden. It's going to be over this way. I'm going to try and kill a few more things, see if we can't get 16 or 17 before we get to the Warden. Because we will need it. I think we had another shrine as well, didn't we? Yeah, alright, we're going to take the blue. When I go back to town, I'm actually going to pull the point out of the green in the crossroads and put it into the lizard. Always play as greedy as you can with your devotions. You only get 50 of them, so, or 55, sorry. It is definitely worth paying an Aether Crystal for that. Just here, crumbling wall, and behind it there should be a chest. This is not what we call a one-shot chest. One-shot chests are all called exalted chests. But if you come here again, that chest will not be there. So in a way, it is kind of a one-shot chest. But the true one-shot chests are all called exalted chests, except for the ones from Act Bosses. So when we kill the Warden, there will be a chest behind him. It will be called the Warden's Stash or something like that. And that is a one-shot chest as well. You get one of those per difficulty. And there is a list of them on Grim Tools if you want to go through it. I think there's a handful in each act. So that proc is really doing work for us here. Every time it goes off, everything around us just dies. Alright, new pants. Yes. How about these ones? Bleeding damage is okay. But I think the other ones are better. Definitely. And we did get a devotion point, so we'll get some regen and a bit of what is that word? Constitution. And I'm gonna go swap that point out right now, because that is actually pretty good. That way I don't have to come back. So, for the purposes of respeccing your devotion points, you talk to Sedina here, go into devotions, and you can click on them to remove them. It will cost you an Aether Crystal, and also it will cost you Iron Bits, and this cost for Iron Bits will go up the more you use it. Alright, but 50 health, 10 health regen, and some move speed. Very much worth it. This section full of Aether Crystals. Very nice, especially once you get to Ultimate. You will need a ton of those crystals, and this is basically the first area that I farm on new accounts. Come in here, I kill all these crystals. You can usually get 10 to 15 Aether Crystals per run, and you will definitely need them. Continuing as always, 1 point in the bar, 2 points in whatever you're leveling. Another section, and more crystals. And again, I'm being very liberal with the use of potions, and I will continue to do that. Still got 13 of them. I will probably need, if I had to guess, probably 4 or 5 to kill the Warden. Don't really feel like kiting him with a melee build, so we'll probably just tank a lot of his stuff and then use potions as needed. Alright, heading into the Hidden Laboratory. This is the last area of Act 1. There is a lot of lore in here. You can read these journals. There have been previous journals, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, etc. in earlier sections of Act 1. And there will continue to be some through Act 2 and 3 as well. I do need to kill a lot of this stuff, otherwise we're going to be horribly underleveled. Where's the ice? Cold one, there he is. This section here is why I value elemental resistances so highly in Act 1. And same for poison. Because these plague walkers throw poison at you. The floating eyeballs shooting you with lightning. And this guy, the Burning Dead, constantly throwing fireballs at you. So having your elemental resistances up is very important. And actually, if I have any more, I will actually swap gear to increase it, but it doesn't look like I do. That's alright, continue onwards. I wouldn't normally kill this many things. As I said though, level 16 is a little low to be fighting the Warden. We're getting close to the point where you've come here deliberately early in order to get the hardcore achievement for killing him before level 10. We haven't done that. Ideally, I think you want to aim for late teens to kill him. Feral Hunger proc is definitely doing work in here though. So for this first section of the Warden's Laboratory, there are 3 ways forward, and generally 2 of them are blocked. So you can see this one here is blocked, this one here is blocked, so we have to go through here. This door here can also be blocked, and there may be gaps over there, or there will be. One of those currently blocked pathways will be open. don't think we're going to make it to 18, but we should be able to get to 17 before Warden Krieg. There is a lot of things to kill between here and there though, so we may get 18. I think we'll probably get close, but not quite make it. Very glad we found that weapon just outside. If you are playing along and you didn't find a really nice two-handed weapon as a drop, definitely recommend buying one from a merchant before, probably before here actually, because a lot of this stuff, if I wasn't one-shotting this, I would be taking considerably more damage than I am. So I would highly recommend buying a new weapon if you don't have a decent one before here. Anything kind of on a similar level to what I have will be fine. I'll just finish clearing this room and then we'll have a look at it for anyone who's interested. So if you go to the second tab here, it'll actually show you how much damage you do from your left and right buttons. This kind of lies a little bit, and these plus and minuses from showing these weapons, like minus 780 damage per second, those are blatant lies as well. They can give you a rough idea though. So for right now, let's just get this level up. For right now, we'll be doing 800 to 1400 damage or so. So as long as you're close, say like 700 to 1300 minimum, I wouldn't bother getting a new weapon. The ability to one-shot stuff definitely has saved my bacon in here. This section right here, there is so much stuff in this next room and it's all going to come pouring through these doors. And there are, I think, 6 or 7 Aether Crystals in there, as well as another Reanimator. So this horde of zombies is basically not going to end until I go in there and start killing crystals. But it is good XP, so there is that. A lot of this stuff is not really connected to the crystals either, so killing them will not stop them. But you can stop some of it. Alright. I'm gonna try and sneak in here and kill off the artillery, the Burning Dead. Okay, so there's a Reanimator here, a named one. I can't remember his name. It starts with a Z, I think. Yeah, Zabrant. So this is the last boss before we go see Krieg. All of this is optional. You can just run in there. The door will close behind you, but I want the crystals. I want the XP. I'm definitely not going to get to 18 before I have to go fight Krieg. But any XP as a bonus is definitely something I want. We are a little bit underleveled, especially as I want to go into the Forgotten Gods content straight after Act 1 and get a movement skill, because this is a little bit painful. Okay, so for Krieg we want to prioritize Aether resistance. So I would wear these anyway, but it is nice that they have Aether resistance on them. And do we have any additional gear with Aether Resist? Not that it's worth replacing. So 24%, it's good enough, I think. Let's go say hello to the Act Boss. So you will have to fight him twice. His first form you don't really worry about too much. He has an Aether Wave that he will throw at you. He'll put, I guess you'd call it bombs around the room on the floor, and he'll stun you, charge you, do a dash attack, and then a stun attack. But more or less you can just kill him. That attack you just saw that did so much damage, I think was either the wind-up attack for one of those fire soldiers, or it was his stunning sweep attack. There's the Aether Wave. Not a big deal in this form, but that's going to hurt in a second here. Don't want to stand in that. Alright, there we go. Now we fight his true form. So he'll stomp on the floor. That does a decent amount of damage. That Aether Wave's now much faster, will slow you down and do a decent chunk of damage. And he also, as long as you stay in melee, he shouldn't do it, but his left hand there covered in spikes, he will shoot a wave of darts at you, and the darts each do a stacking bleed damage, which is actually pretty nasty. Like I said though, we just tank him, and we hold left click and use potions as needed. And there he is. So that's Warden Krieg done. He dropped his shield, which is actually really good for killing him, as it has a huge chunk of Aether resist on it. The physical resist on that is a little bit low, but that's fine. I'm actually going to turn the filter off and grab everything here, since we're going to be selling it anyway. And the Warden's chest here, this is a true one-shot chest. This will never be here again. If I come back and kill the Warden, that won't be there. As it turns out, he didn't really drop us anything we want. I had a little bit of hope for this weapon, but what is that? Piercing damage, vitality and Aether damage. Yeah, definitely no good for us. Alright, so I'm going to go back to town and sell all this. And this will be the end of part 3. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in part 4, where we will step into the Forgotten Gods section and grab a movement skill, and then continue on with Act 2. Thank you very much, and see you next time.